Welcome to the next episode of the Dark Web Deacon. Before we begin, be sure to smash that subscribe button, click the bell to turn on notifications. New videos are published every Monday and Thursday, and as always, be sure to like and provide comments. In this episode, we're going to count down the top 5 Dark Web documentaries, based on such things as IMDb ratings, overall film quality, and the depth and breadth of the information provided in these films. These films go into detail on various topics, such as dark web markets, encryption, online privacy, hacking, cryptocurrency, and surveillance by governments and big business.
Number 5.
It's called the Silk Road.
Silk Road.
A billion-dollar online marketplace for illegal
It's like
drugs.
the eBay for drugs.
The elusive ringleader known as
the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Who is the Dread Pirate Roberts?
Deep Web is a 2015 documentary that received 4 nominations at film festivals and was the winner of the Anthem Las Vegas Film Festival for Top Audience Choice Award. This documentary is really about Ross Ulbricht, his trial, and Silk Road in general, and not about dark web, Tor, or hacking. So most of the negative reviews are that the title is a little bit misleading. Director Alex Winters portrays the deep web as a new cyber nation where anonymity, freedom, and the relief from the burden of government surveillance can thrive. It is or can be the true libertarian utopia. Although the film is hyped as being narrated by Keanu Reeves, he actually has a limited role. In fact, a significant part of this film is carried by consultant producer and Wired magazine writer Andy Greenberg. Greenberg was the first person to actually interview Ulbricht when he was only known as Dread Pirate Roberts. He believes that Ulbricht was sincere in his libertarian philosophy and truly felt that an open drug market would reduce the violence that was connected to illegal drug use. You'll have to decide for yourself if Greenberg and Winter makes a good case for Ulbricht or not in this film. The film then looks at, in detail, the actual trial of Ross Ulbricht, several interviews with his parents, legal team, along with the government agents, and how he was actually captured, and the evidence that was brought to bear during his trial. If you're interested in watching a documentary that explains the constructs and concepts of the dark web, but delves deep into the case breakdown against Ross Ulbricht, aka Dread Pirate Roberts, and the Silk Road drug trade, then this is a documentary worth checking out.
Was playing fast and loose with the truth.
NPR was serious about what the Silk Road meant.
They don't really care about money. It's not about selling drugs. It is to make a political statement.
Number 4.
Every different connection creates another opportunity for a hacker to get in.
We are expecting technology to do more and more things for us. Because of that, greater vulnerability is being built into our everyday lives.
Dark Web, Fighting Cybercrime is a 2018 documentary from the Science Channel. In this 45-minute special with unprecedented access, it takes an in-depth look at how the rise of technology, spawned by the inevitable rise of cybercrime, how current security systems have left you, your family, and your finances vulnerable, and how AI is now a partner on the front lines fighting the ever-growing threat from hackers and cyber criminals. This documentary will arm you with information you need about the most cutting-edge ways that they're fighting cybercrime. The film focuses on how virtually anyone with an internet connection will be the victim of cyber attacks at some point in his or her life. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. In the fight against the new legion of criminals, the only hope is to embrace the full potential of AI, according to the documentary. It's not about man versus machine, it's about man and machine versus cybercriminal. Also, how the same technology designed to make our lives better and communication easier can also be wielded as a dangerous weapon is touched on in the film. Capabilities of wiping out bank accounts, destroying medical records, grounding flights, shutting down power grids, even to seizing control of military weapons, threatening the safety and security of those who use them. The film finally focuses on IBM's X-Force Command Center, known as a Cognitive Security Operations Center, in using AI and the newest supercomputers to deploy and help human counterparts analyze an insane amount of data that's out there. all in an effort to shut down cybercriminals and hackers who steal money, information, and peace of mind from their victims. For those who are looking to understand the types of financial data, ransomware, and tools sold on the dark web, along with offensive and defensive battles between cybercriminals and cybersecurity experts, this is a must-watch.
Security is always a battle between attacker and defender. And what we find is that on the internet, attackers generally have the upper hand.
Hacking is a business, it's an industry. They actually have expenditures, sometimes they have payroll, they have benefits to their employees.
I personally can't buy an atomic bomb or hire SEAL Team 6, but I have the equivalent online.
You will get hacked, and you have to understand how to react to it.
Number 3.
It was the year that Orwell had envisioned as the beginning of the end of our privacy.
Now we can see you.
A world in which Big Brother was constantly watching. But no one paid that too much mind. After all, it was the same year happy families were bringing the first Macintosh computer into their homes.
Hello, I am Macintosh.
A decade later, my generation would already be firmly planted in front of a screen.
We installed the internet on our computer just a short time ago, and I haven't been able to get the kids off it ever since.
How Big is the Dark Web is a 2017 film that heavily focuses on surveillance, privacy, cryptography, and the dark web in general. Many of the people the director interviews do not speak English, so the documentary is heavily subtitled just as a warning. The film starts off by clearly defining what is the dark web in respect to the surface web. However, they do interchange the term deep web and dark web, which, as we know for those who follow this channel, is not really correct. The director does interview real-life hackers and how they actually steal information. The next part of the film talks about the origins of the anti-statism and privacy advocacy groups like cypherpunks in their writings of 1988, and the modern groups today that continue to spread their ideology and beliefs. There is also a discussion and debate on Edward Snowden and the data he revealed about the data gathered from the US government used for surveillance on US citizens. The film closes with interview and discussions on the struggles to ensure privacy and the future of the dark web. This is an eye-opening and informative film for those with limited knowledge of the subject who want to learn more about the dark web, the various parts and markets of the dark web, the technology behind the dark web, and surveillance and cryptography and the struggles that exist between the two.
Find ways to launder money, hire a hitman, get guns.
The deep web is used by many to buy fake identities. Websites offer green cards, driver's licenses, and passports. Some use it for more sinister reasons, such as human trafficking or drug exportation.
Number 2.
It has been 40 years since President Nixon declared a war on drugs. Now a high-profile panel says that war is unwinnable, and that
the Silk Road was a new kind of black market that the internet had never seen before.
Opiates up 34.5%, cocaine use up 27%, and marijuana use up 8.5%. That's according to UN data.
Silk Road was the first big due to the war on drugs.
The website sells illegal drugs to anyone who was willing to pay. But as I-Team investigator Michael George uncovered, the people who run the site stand by what they're doing. For now,
Silk Road had 20,000 new users every single month.
Silk Road, Drugs, Death, and the Dark Web is a 2017 documentary. The film goes into detail on the Silk Road, described as the first Amazon of legal drugs, which appeared on the dark web in 2011. The Silk Road was the brainchild of mysterious and libertarian intellectual Ross Ulbricht, who evaded all attempts to track him down until a young IRS inspector cracked the case. The film intertwines three stories. The first is that of Ross Ulbricht's journey from tech geek to drug kingpin. The second is that of Gary Alford, the IRS special agent who found the key piece of evidence to tie Ross to the actual site. And the third are the details and interactions of Ross with Wired magazine writer Andy Greenberg. Greenberg was the first person to actually interview Ulbricht, who is known as Dread Pirate Roberts, on the Silk Road. This documentary is a great way to see all the faces of those involved, and goes into exhaustive detail on Ross's personal life, his internal struggle of keeping the Silk Road secret from those he loved, and the ideas that shaped his philosophy on the creation of the Silk Road. It also goes into detail on how the special task force formed by the government involved in taking down the Silk Road was formed, and how they tracked down and ultimately arrested Ross while he was logged onto the site. Some criticism of the film is that it does mostly paint a picture of Ulbricht's guilt, and does not explore the positive good encryption and anonymity online can serve, along with some of the concerns that have been raised about how evidence was obtained to convict Ross. On balance, this is a very informative film for anyone looking to explore the history and mythology around Ross Ulbricht and the creation of the Silk Road and its ultimate demise and downfall.
And it was like going on Amazon or on eBay and seeing your top recently looked at items, except for this was cocaine and DMT and all the other elusive drugs that you could never have before in your life. Just right in front of you. All you had to do was click twice and it would show up at your doorstep a couple of days later.
You may be shocked to find listings here that are outlawed in your jurisdiction. That doesn't mean Silk Road is lawless. Our basic rules are to treat others as you would wish to be treated. Mind your own business. And don't do anything to hurt or scam anyone else.
Number 1.
Yeah, this website is quite focused on credit card numbers and stolen data. On here, for instance, is credit card numbers from around $5-6 per credit card number, paying in equivalent of bitcoins, totally anonymous.
The cards are sold in something called a dump.
I mean, it's quite a large number of entries. It's tens of thousands.
Inside the Dark Web is a 2014 BBC documentary. The film looks at several key topics such as online privacy, security of modern communications, how cryptography enables privacy, the rise of Bitcoin, and dark web markets. The first aspect of the film involves conversations with Britain's GCHQ, the Government Communications Headquarters, which is a federal security agency whose mission statement reads is to constantly work to keep Britain safe and secure in the challenging environment of modern communication. There's also several conversations with Tim Berners-Lee, the man accredited as the inventor of the internet himself. He explains he sees the dangers being presented as the World Wide Web develops over time. He makes the point that we have to understand in regards to surveillance that it's not people that are monitoring our internet activity in the initial tiers of these security agencies, but computers and algorithms housed within them that flag behavior, designate as worth looking into further, and then alert human security officers that perhaps see a reason to delve deeper. The film focus then turns from government surveillance to big business surveillance. Big business acquiring as much information as it can about your search, traffic, interest-related habits that allow them to target paid advertising into the path of your digital trailblazing for products that you just might be willing to hand over some of your hard-earned cash for. The aforementioned government agencies often acquire this information for their own monitoring purposes as well. The film then looks at Bitcoin, its continued rise of cryptocurrency, and the enablement of Bitcoin and security and privacy of web browsers like Tor that gave rise to dark web markets such as Silk Road. I highly recommend this documentary for anyone looking to understand the ongoing battle around online privacy and how this battle is what spawned the creation of the dark web.
Information boundaries are important. So that means that we've got to have systems which respect them. So we've got to have the technology to produce, which can produce privacy.
For those of us who might wish to resist surveillance, the hunt for that technology is now on. And it is to cryptographers that we must look for answers.
Thanks for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe, and provide comments, and turn on notifications by clicking the bell in order to check out future videos published twice a week.